Hello everyone, my name is Syed Raza. I'll be presenting my design idea for the KBH hospital. To commence, I would like to offer my design. My intention for the design is to bring nature to the structure. By nature, I mean green, maximum sunlight, and natural ventilation. As per site studies for planning, the site sits on Bramila Road, north of Claremont Drive, Brampton, Ontario. The site's north side fetches the green a lot more than the rest of the views, as we can see that this is the green belt and the site is fetching green and a lot more nature from the north than the rest of the site area. To the south is the Bamila Road, the east is the street, and also to the west is a building which we have discussed in assignment 1 already. The green views are said to be therapeutic for all human beings, especially for the ones that are bedridden. With respect to zoning bylaws, 1/3 of the site is to be constructed. The total size of the site is 6,842 meters square. So to divide it by 3, we get 2,280 square meters remaining ground that can be utilized to build the building. Observing the nature of the building, programming specifications and needs of the structure, and allocating them in a manner in which all requirements are met, it's a real challenge. The building has an enormous view of the green belt, so I decided to keep the resident view open to the green. This is the ground floor plan. The drawing tells the story of nature coming into the building. The trees play their roles to adapt the structure, and the building seems to be emerging from the ground while allowing views and maximum daylight adaptation. This drawing is of the second floor plan. I intended to keep the offices and the staff on the second floor, since the staff can work without any interruptions from the ground floor. This is one of the major drawings in my presentation, which represents some legends and space. This drawing represents the programming of the building. As we can witness that the residents are far away from the rest of the space, there is a reason behind it. The reason behind keeping the resident room to the very end is that the residents need a quiet and a calm space. Based on some research, often the residents are under high dose medication and a single noise can mentally harm them. What steps can we take to not mentally harm anyone who is bedridden and needs a lot of attention? Well, the green belt with lots of trees and nature, chirping birds, and wind howling can be a medium of peace to those that seek that atmosphere. For example, if a resident is sleeping here, or to any one of the rooms allocated for the residents, the chirping birds, wind howling, closer to the nature and trees can be a sign of peace to them. Furthermore, nurses play one of the most important roles in the hospital. What is their job? One of their major jobs is to constantly provide services to the residents. So what we can do? I decided to keep the nursing station in the middle so that the nurses can have an eye on the residents and provide them with their needs. Also, the kitchen and dining area are placed in the middle so that the reach could be easy for the residents, and at the same time the spaces can get diffused light throughout the day. Finally, the medical room, storage and oxygen supply room is in the reach as well. During the site analysis and research on the spiritual room, which is here, the spiritual room would be best benefited if it fetches natural light and be open to above roof level. This can create a sense of spirituality in the meditator. The spiritual space is open to cut off here. Talking about the laundry and linen room, they all are here, so that it can be easily reached by the staff and the nurse. Oxygen supply room and general storage area is also within the reach. Talking about the mechanical room, electrical room, sprinkler room, elevator room, and communication room, they are to the back of the house. Why are they at the back of the house? Because not daily or always these spaces are used, but they are used often by the staff. Maybe once a day, maybe twice a day, but not by the residents, not by the nurse. So I tend to keep them to the back of the house. Additionally, this space is also to bring nature in so that the residents or the staff can view the nature from all four sides of the building. Similarly, talking about the other space of the nature, it sits to the right, which is to the east of the building, and staff and the residents can benefit from the natural space which sits here. I also decided to keep a sunroom to the building. The sunroom sits here. It's surrounded by nature and it fetches a lot of sunlight during the daytime. Last but not least, as soon as a visitor enters into the building, the visitor is welcomed by the receptionist with all the information needed. To talk about the parking spaces in this building, according to Ontario zoning bylaw and Ontario building code, there has to be 9 parking spaces. These parking spaces can allow the visitors and the staff to park their cars, bring the car from the east side of the building and also exit from the east side of the building. A resident can be dropped off with no interruption and the path is easily accessible. This is the second floor programming. As per building requirements, the offices are kept on the second floor. The boardroom, photocopy and the print day classes are all on the second floor for easier access and no interruption to the other spaces. Again, last but not least, the elevator and staircases are close to the entrances since they provide faster access to the staff upon entry. For example, if the staff comes to the second floor, they have easily access to all the rooms and offices and also the storage room. They can use the elevator and go back. I would like to go back to the ground floor plan so that I can show it easily. If the staff enters from the ground floor plan without interrupting the other spaces, can go to the first floor and there would be no interruption. As per the requirement, a building cannot stand without a proper structural system. The building utilizes a wood frame skeleton system in most spaces. This wood is locally sourced, which is economical and sustainable as well. This slide demonstrates the material layers. To the left, the wall is of exterior wall that can fight snow and rain. The storm water from the top is supplied from the parapet to the roof, which is then flushed away in order to keep the building dry and safe. To the right is the glulam structure members that can be utilized to keep the sunroom standing. The structural grid lines are aligned to the center of internal walls and the outer face of external walls. This arrangement allows for the fixing of the position of the 4 corners of the building and footprint to meet planning requirements by authorities. This is the second floor structural grid for internal walls. The alignment to the central lines of the walls allow for a change in the thickness of walls as advised by structural engineers without affecting the grid line. The drawing represents the heating, ventilating, and air conditioning installation in the building. The custom design of ductwork and fans to facilitate multi-zone heating and cooling system. The properly sized ductwork system showcases the balanced airflow within the building. These are the sectional drawings that show the spaces in the building, and also it shows the cut lines through the building. This wall I intentionally colored it dark and to show that this wall has been cut because this is one of the structural walls that hold the second floor and without pretty much the need of structural column. Also, the elevations of the building demonstrate the building's height and materiality. I kept the shadow on to see how the building is affecting the walls. These are the interior and exterior renders of the building that shows the activities and natural environment of the building. To the left, we can see that the reception is not affected by direct sun rays in the morning because this window is facing east, and when the sun goes to the west, this area can benefit diffuse natural light. This is the library's interior view, the residential spaces that shows the materiality and how the light is affecting the natural and artificial light is affecting the building and how they play their roles in bringing light in. Finally, this is the hallway with the green view that has a 360 degrees view from all over the building. Thank you for listening.